Epigenetics is, you see here the definition. Different means to doing that. A lot of those relate to modification of the histones. The histones are proteins that basically sit on the DNA, and that affects what genes are transcribed and how much are transcribed and where. And it's different from site to site. At the bottom, the cartoon just shows that a macrophage, this is very understandable, that if it's exposed to heme, it goes on to a splenic type macrophage, which has very different characteristics in terms of the cytokines it produces. If it's exposed to retinoic acid, it becomes more of a peritoneal phenotype macrophage. We know that the antigen-presenting cells around the body are different from each other. The epigenetic thing, though, I think that, it's kind of tricky, isn't it? Remember at the ACR, there was a poster in lupus that correlated SLE outcome with proximity to a highway. So the closer you live to a highway and presumably air pollution, the more disease activity you had. And they've done those studies in asthma as well. And in asthma, you think, well, okay, that kind of makes sense because you're breathing in toxic things that can affect your pulmonary function. But in lupus, they actually found a very strong association. That was the group at UCSF that did that, on proteins involved with ubiquitination. So it's one of the processes by which the degradation products are processed. A very high correlation. That gets to the socioeconomic issues, doesn't it?
It does, and it's something that keeps coming up, and it's a subtext. But since we don't know how to, intervene there, people don't generally talk about, the environmental triggers, the dietary triggers, and maybe what it is going to be doing to epigenetics or microbiome. So, and again, I think this is what will roll out by 2020 and beyond, that we'll start to see where these interventions are going to be meaningful.
And it can it's one thing we all tell our patients to stop smoking, of course, stop smoking. But if we could say, well, if you smoke, this happens, boom, boom, downstream, and your immune system is changing. Or if you're obese, we come back and talk about obesity, maybe that's changes in the epigenetic profile. In an understandable way, that would be even more powerful as a message, I think, to patients.
We're real good at writing prescriptions and at getting a therapeutic plan. The prescriptions we don't write, like for lifestyle and where you live next to the tracks versus and where the wires are.
Move to Maui, PRN. I think that's...
There's no rheumatologist in Maui still. We're looking for someone to sign up, or maybe we'll develop a sign-up list.
There we go.
There you go, volunteers.
So I think fascinating stuff, stuff that's definitely 20 years from now, 10 years from now. So for the fellows in the audience, I think you'll see tangible things in your lifetime related to this.